Okay, so in this video, this is going to be a review of factoring. We're going to start with basic. So when I say basic factoring, I'm going to talk about a quadratic, because that's what you guys learned last year. So a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c. So doing an example, if I give you something like x squared plus 4x minus 12. A is 1, B is 4, C is negative 12. So our goal is we need to ask ourselves what factors of negative 12 add to 4. Okay. So some scrap work you could do. I don't know if you've learned this, but scrap work always needs to be done off on the side, not in the middle of your problem. So we can take negative 12, we're making a little factor tree, and we could say, okay, 6 and negative 2. So 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. 6 plus negative 2 is 4. So then this is going to factor to x plus 6 and x minus 2. And so this is our final answer. So that's a basic one. A little bit more difficult of a problem would be if I gave you something like x cubed plus 2x squared plus x. So the first thing you always need to do is see if you can factor anything out. Greatest common factor. So we have x cubed, 2x squared, and x. These all have an x in common, so we're going to factor that out. So I'm going to put an x on the outside. X cubed divided by x is x squared. 2x squared divided by x is just 2x, and x divided by x is 1. Now, some people might think you're done, but you have to now pay attention to this and say, okay, can this be factored anymore? And it can. What times what multiplies to 1 and adds to 2. 1. So we need to bring down this x, and then this factors to x plus 1 times x plus 1. And this is our final answer. You can always double check your work by distributing everything back, and if you get what you started with, you know you got it correct. Making things a little bit more tricky, I can give you a quadratic that has an a value greater than 1. For example, 4x squared plus 11x plus 6. So this is more difficult because we've got a 4 here. So remember, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, can anything be factored out? So we can't factor out an x. 4, 11, and 6 don't have anything else in common, so we just have to factor with what we've got. What I recommend doing is factor by grouping, which is what I'm going to show you. So this is factor by grouping. Okay, so when you're going to factor by grouping, the first thing you need to do, and again, this is going to be scrap work, is do a times c. So what we cannot do is what times what multiplies to 6 and adds to 11. Why can't we do that? Because of this stinking 4. So because of this 4, we have to do a times c. So 4 times 6 is 24. Now what we can do is say what multiplies to 24 and adds to 11. Okay, so 8 times 3 is 24, and 8 plus 3 is 11. Now what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this as 4x squared. But instead of having 11x, we're going to have 8x and 3x. So this is like a tricky manipulation, okay? I've barely changed the problem. These two lines are still equivalent, okay? The only difference is I've broken apart this 11 to be an 8 and a 3x. So what we're going to do now is we are going to factor individually, and I am going to want to change the color. So we are going to factor this side just with greatest common factor. So what's the greatest common factor of 4x squared and 8x? Hopefully you were saying it's 4x. So we're going to do 4x, and then what are we left with? Well, 4x squared divided by 4x is, oops, I almost wrote 4, is x. 8x divided by 4x is 2. So we're left with x plus 2. Now, what you're going to do at the same time is look at this second group. Okay? So, and we're going to factor it. So what do 3x and 6 have in common? Well, they both are divisible by 3. So we have a positive 3. 3x divided by 3 is x, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay? Now, we've separated into groups and we've factored. Now what you'll notice, hopefully, is that we have an x plus 2 and an x plus 2. This should always happen during factor by grouping unless it is not, factorable. Come on. Okay, so I'm not sure what happened to the screen, but we'll just ignore it for now. So, looking at the 4x times x plus 2 plus 3 times x plus 2, what do these whole things have in common? So this term and this term both have an x plus 2 in common. So what we're going to do is factor that out. So we have x plus 2, and what are we left with? 4x plus 3. And this is our final answer. So I know it is a little confusing. I would recommend watching this video again, maybe pausing it, or trying some problems on your own. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to come in and ask. All right. Goodbye.